When you have an opportunity to make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 per month of recurring income, do not let fear get in the way. We all have fear. I have fear. Every person that I know, no matter how brave they are, no matter how big, how strong, everyone has fear. The difference is how you react to it. I've had so many trials, tribulations, challenges, setbacks from major institutions coming at me. I had an ex-business partner, was my best friend, like the guy who was my best man in my wedding, totally betrayed me for some coins, for the love of what other people would see and how other people would perceive him versus me. And for the mischief makers, I'm just gonna call them the divide and conquer strategists, all kinds of setbacks. But I'm still here. I've had institutions who came in and tried to take advantage of that in a financial way, and they didn't try, they did take advantage of that. Major setback. Had attorneys come in and take advantage of that. I'm gonna talk about those attorneys and what happened during that time so that you can see the amount of setbacks and challenges that I had to undergo just to make it here. And I'm no mega millionaire. We're talking about institutions with millions and millions of dollars, gigantic institutions, attorneys with 5, 12 attorneys on their staff that can just come at me. All that while having sales teams, some who decided to go with my ex-partner because he had all the money. Money was here, went over there. Some people just draw the line because their bottom line is money, and I'm not mad at them, but that's what they chose. And so they went from here over here to the side where they can make the most money. Another setback. Then I had my own personal setbacks. That it's just everything all at once. And so a lot of us get in this position where we see everything coming at us. And so unfortunately, we go to drugs, we go to alcohol, and even myself, I'm not a drinker, yet wine became my thing. I had some other incidents that happened. And before I go further, you go into this phase where you do things to sabotage yourself. What do I mean by that? When we face challenges, oftentimes we'll do something that hurts us in the long run, even though we don't realize it in the short term. While we're going through severe challenges, we may begin to drink a little bit more, or smoke a little bit more, or stay up a whole lot more than we should, averaging 3-4 hours of sleep. It doesn't seem like it will hurt us at the time, but long-term, devastating effects on your liver, your kidneys, your mind, your skin, everything will be affected. We may do things that not only hurt ourselves, but hurt those around us, not understanding the long-term effects. Just like the institutions that took advantage, or the people at the institutions, because it's not just a building taking advantage of anybody, it's people in these institutions, just like what they were doing, they don't understand the long-term effect of that. Of course you can get away with it. You have plenty of attorneys who know the law and procedure well enough to help them skate by. But what's the long-term effect to that particular person? We don't know. We may never know, and it's not up to us to know. But they will have to deal with that. You only need to worry about you. As I was building the payment processing company with my ex-business partner, I had a major incident happen in my life, and I've never shared it with anybody besides my wife and my children. No one else really knew, for the most part, in the business world. Of course, close family members knew. I shared it with one person, my ex-business partner. He knew, but he didn't know all the details, but he knew. And when I was going through the incident with my ex-business partner where all this money went from here to over there, reports started to go out online that I killed my son. Someone started to, using ghost accounts, someone started to say, he killed his son. There's only one person who was not a family member who I told that to. No one else knew. And all the propaganda that I killed my son, because my actual biological son was killed. He was absolutely killed. I was in another state at the time, not even close to it. I don't want to go into detail with it because I'm sure it's a sensitive issue for his family. All that while having money go from here to there. Sales reps who are strictly about aligning themselves with who can pay them the most, regardless to what happened. You have people at financial institutions taking advantage of the situation. Another institution saying, hey, we got to get paid too. You have your client base leaving because the situation is so crazy and the financial institution is not helping it. They're taking advantage of it, which is hurting our clients and our sales agents at the same time. And then some of the sales agents it was just a mess. I can't even explain to you and go down the rabbit hole of how messy that was. On top of that, when you have propaganda being placed online that you killed your own son. And it was everywhere. It was on LinkedIn, it was on Facebook, it was on Instagram, just all ghost accounts, just crazy stuff. I had my son, my newborn son, who's 4 years old today, who was on life support, on 3 life support machines, 3. And I'm saying to myself, what in the world have I done to deserve this? I had to do something before in the past where it was time for me to go through a severe learning lesson. And learning lesson, I did. Lesson after lesson. I had an attorney who I hired to help me with litigation. That attorney didn't seem to be the most knowledgeable in the payment space. Fast forward, that attorney comes after me for more money, even though we'd already paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just thing after thing after thing after thing. And some of the people who I tried to help, trying to remain ethical, trying to stand on principles, some of those same people who my ex-partner also, in some cases, there were some things that he should have done. And I have to be careful how I say this because you have tons of attorneys who are just sitting around who just want free money. They will go and look for clients, put something in the client's head, and keep suing and suing and suing and suing because that's the game. You keep suing until somebody taps out or until they run out of money, until they settle. It's unfortunate, and that's why I think our society is corroding as it is because of a lack of ethics. And so while all this is happening, I'm trying my best to defend certain clients, certain people who I consider friends. And when it's messy, it's messy. Those same people, some of them, not all, flip the script and say, you know what? I don't care what happened, and begin spreading propaganda as well in a light that doesn't benefit me, even though I'm fighting for them, literally fighting for them. Even began working with them in order to establish institutions and to do things for entrepreneurs or for the entrepreneur community. But when it comes to money, all bets are off. It doesn't matter who's your friend, who's not. It's almost the same, it's the same treatment that you'll get. It's the same response you'll get from an enemy in some cases. And I'm saying all this not to point fingers at anybody, but to say sometimes it will feel like the walls are closing in on you. But what you have to do is focus your attention on moving forward. You have to focus on the one thing that matters the most. It could be sales, it could be marketing. Maybe it's finishing that book. Maybe it's making 100 phone calls a day to talk to your clients, to bring them on to your platform. Maybe it's reaching out to some of your sales agents. This time around, establishing relationships with sales agents who have an ethical base, who have a moral compass. It's also a time to focus on skilling up. You absolutely want to skill up, and you want to surround yourself with people who are skilling up. There's so many things that you can learn when you go through what I went through, and what I went through is not the worst. I know people who aren't here today. Imagine going through that. Someone's always doing worse, someone's always doing better, so why even compare? I'm sharing this with you so that you can learn the lesson and not go through what I went through there were just periods of high and low tides. And if you take your energy and focus on moving forward and growth, almost put blinders on some of the other stuff as much as you could, as much as you can. I really couldn't put blinders on because you have legal fees coming here, ex-partner taking so much from me, sabotaging the whole thing as much as it possibly could, like literally putting energy into sabotaging it. You still have to deal with all of your other clients. You still have to hire new people. You still have to train new people. You deal with all this other, and then normally when something happens, no one wants to be wrong, especially when it involves money in particular. When it involves money, no one wants to be wrong. Unless people are getting paid, you're probably not going to get that much support. You don't want to become a victim. You don't want to feel sorry for yourself. You want to move forward. So focus on your sales, focus on your skills, focus on your marketing. How many people are you DMing every day? How many posts are you commenting on? So you don't want to drive around and talk to different people. You don't want to fly around and go to different events. You don't want to do that, fine. How many people are you messaging every day in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, fan base? That's like 8 different platforms. You can easily talk to 50 to 100 people. Who knows what will happen? You may only get one deal, maybe no deals. Something will happen. You can make content 2-3 hours out the day, specifically speaking to your target audience. You can go through your phone and say, how many people can I contact? How many people can I talk to? And I've gotten some deals before myself that I almost gave up on. I just felt like the person wasn't interested. And I found out that they actually were interested. They were just busy. So do not give up. I want you to understand how important it is to continue going forward. Do not get discouraged. Do not give up. If you want more of this, let me know. If you want to build your recurring income portfolio, let me know. I'd love to help.